G'day everyone, Prep Aussie here. I hope you're all well in whatever part of the world you're watching this video. Today is Friday, the 21st of February 2020, and the time here is 0840 Australian Eastern Standard Time. Folks, this video is dedicated to two people, or some people. Tim Breen, who I had a conversation with the other day and said to me, I actually had a really good discussion with him and said, I don't know if I'm going to do videos anymore. And he didn't coerce me or anything. He just said, that's fine, no problem at all. Tim's been with me since the beginning. But he said something that was pretty pertinent, and that was, Prep, there's no one else out there who's given us the real information and real news. Because I kind of think that I've gotten to the point where I may have saturated myself a bit, and you just don't renew subscriptions, etc. People don't pass on the information, and I think it just gets a bit stale, and you just get a bit sick of saying the same thing all the time. So look, thanks to Tim, I'm back. I'm going to try and do just 2 videos a week. That's it, no more, just 2. Because I think if I try and do any more than that, unless there's something major, and it'll be specific to financial and prepping, that's it. The second part, second dedication for this video is to, and that'll be in the prayers, etc., is to the young family that was, honestly, it breaks your heart. If you haven't heard what's happened here in Australia, an ex-NRL player, which is like the NFL if you're an American watching this, or the Premier League in soccer, he went bloody loopy, poured petrol all over his kids in his car, like little kids, talking 2, 5 and 7, I think, and his wife burnt them all to death and got out of the car and stabbed himself through the heart in a suburban street here in Brisbane, in Queensland. As a father of 5 and everything, honestly, I'm struggling. We're all struggling with this in Australia at the moment. It's really big, as you'd expect it to be. It's just beyond comprehension that a grown man would stick all his family in a car, torch them, and then kill himself. He's probably lucky he did kill himself, because honestly, if people got hold of him, they would have killed him anyway. So look, that's part of the second part of this dedication to this video. I won't show any videos of it or anything. It's too distressing. It's just disgusting what's going on here with domestic violence in Australia, and it's got to stop. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, I'm not going to bleed on about it. Right, as regards to me, as you've probably noticed, I have lost a shitload of weight. It's been one thing after another with me. I've had 2 serious setbacks health-wise in the last couple of months. Basically bugs. No one seems to. One was a gastro bug, which I'm pretty sure was Giardia in the water, and I lost 10 kilos. That was just a couple of weeks ago. It literally just fell off me. And as you know, when you're 56, you don't just rebound the next day from it. It's been like a 3-week, nearly a month now. I'm just sort of starting to come right now, but still a bit feeling like crap. Not crap, just not my old self. So I'm taking all my tablets and everything else. Oh, before I forget, sorry about that. Sponsor, Totally Rawsome, and their stuff has actually helped me through this, believe it or not. When you're feeling shit and you want something to pick you up, honestly, this stuff works, folks. Look, I'm not kidding. I don't know what the hell they put in it, but it does bloody work. That's all I can say, and I'm not lying either. Look, this is where they're at, Bundles Farmers Market, every Sunday 6 till 12, and the contact details are there, mobile, and info@totallyrawsome.com.au. I've had such good feedback from everyone as regards to this stuff. You know, I haven't had anyone say to me, it's shit prep, put it that way. It does work. Right. Yeah, so my health issues have taken a massive toll on me over the last couple of months. Seem to pick up everything at the moment. And I've had to reanalyze basically what I'm doing. Am I doing something wrong? Is it the bug from the chickens? You know, like I've just gone through everything. Unfortunately, it looks like I'm just keep drawing the lucky card and getting these bloody flu bugs and bloody, let's just say flu bugs. And I've funny enough, I've actually just realised this morning on the news there's been a massive influenza outbreak in January, which they never told anyone about. Just sort of swept it under the carpet. So I may have even got that, because as you know, I had influenza in June, July last year, and I refused to take antibiotics because I wanted my body to build up some what's names against it. Maybe that's why I'm sick. I don't know. But I will tell you, before I got that, I got something else. What did I have to take antibiotics for? I can't remember now, because I was bloody sick, and I took antibiotics and it literally just flushed my system. Oh, that's right, my broken hand. I broke my hand. So I had to take bloody massive amounts of drugs for that in December, January, and then I got sick in February. You tell me. Right. The other thing I've been doing and paying a lot of attention to is my little farm. And I'm doing it myself, as you know. So it takes a long time. It's one thing that I've actually want to speak to you guys about. If you're prepping, which I hope you are, and you've got the opportunity to have chickens, pigs, sheep, goats, whatever. Here's something that I've realised. It takes a lot of time, and it's not a 5-second decision that you should take because of the fact that they take a lot of time. I'm travelling to Perth every 8 to 10 weeks now because of my son. So, what you have to ask yourself is, do you have the time to manage it if you're away? And what I mean by that is just someone to look after it for you. It's only just now dawning on my kids how this has to happen. You have to give them water, you have to give them food. Might come back and the bins would be empty, because the kids just don't care. And then they'd be turning around going, to keep your animals happy, they are the most routine-driven things in the world. So if they've got a good routine every day, they're happy. Simple as that. You break that routine, they're not happy and they won't produce. So I'm at the stage now where I'm going to be getting some pigs soon. Not soon, next couple of months. So I'm just getting everything set up to get that done because I want to test myself with that and see how it goes. And then there's a food source for me there for the family. But it's not an easy decision. I've been researching like crazy. Like I grew up on farms and stuff, so I'm not saying I'm the best in the world. I went to Jackaroon for a couple of years, but I never dealt with pigs, funny enough, because farmers don't like pigs unless they're pig farmers. They think that, if you've got cattle or sheep, cattle and sheep, you don't have pigs. You might have one or two every here and there, but they don't traditionally keep pigs. I'm never really sure what the reason is for that, because I suppose if you've got sheep and cattle, they're easy to kill. and you don't have to stress too much about them. I don't do too much except eat grass. So I'll keep you updated on that as to how it's going. I might even give you guys a picture and see what I've been up to, because I'm on a slope. So by law here, I have to put the chickens and that right down the back of the yard on the bottom of the slope. So that's been a challenge, and I've had to think about ways of how to fix that and do that, and put my builder's brain on without causing myself too much heartache. So, like I said, I might give you some pictures and stuff so you can just see. But my point being, look, if you're following anything that's going on at the moment, look, there's so many people out there talking about this coronavirus. It seems very odd to me. This is all I'm going to say about it. I don't know if it's a bioweapon or whatever, but it seems very odd to me that how do you get rid of a competitor? I.e., how do you without going to war? Well, basically shut down their economy, wipe them out internally, press for internal politics. You know, what's going on in China at the moment is, look, we actually, in all honesty, we don't know what's going on in China at the moment because it's a communist country, and that's becoming more and more prevalent. But what I would say is this: is why, if you hear these countries saying, "Oh, China's given us all the information," blah 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 blah, they've been so good, da 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 da, and then we shut our borders to them. Now, why would we shut our borders if we're getting all the information from China? That's my point. That's my whole point in this. So obviously China is not telling the world everything we need to know. The spies in China are actually relaying their messages back to America, Australia, whoever. And the news is that, hey, we've got a friggin' serious problem here, like really bad. The only thing that I've heard so far that it has been any relevance, and I found this, it's been taken off now actually. There was a guy who did a who does research around the world from satellites, and he found these two hotspots in China, and he was like, oh, it must be fires, but it didn't make sense because they were going 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they've been doing that since January. I actually don't know if it's still on YouTube. I couldn't find it recently, but this guy put this up there and said, hey guys, I've finally figured out what these are. It's crematoriums. And they were apparently going 24/7. Now he did a count as to how many people that was, and it was like 50,000 people to keep those going 24/7 from January to when he found them, which was in a couple of weeks ago in February. Now that's scary. That's about the most scariest thing that I've seen about this coronavirus, because that would definitely tell you that the Chinese are lying. It was on SGT report as well. I think he brought it up, and you just think to yourself, well, communist country is not going to come forward and say, hey, we've lost control of this. And you know they've lost control of it because the governments have shut the borders to China, all flights, etc. They've lost control of this thing. It's gone, blown up. So it ain't good, folks. It's pretty bad. Now, the interesting thing is that here in Australia, there has not been a panic as yet, even though, because the government's done such a good job of running a media psyop about it, people are just thinking, yeah, it's over there in China. Who cares? It's not here in Australia. It doesn't bother us. So people are literally just ignoring it. Now, if you're clever, you won't ignore it. you'll actually get your ass down to Woolies or Coles or Aldi's and start stocking up on all the shit you need. And I mean that in all seriousness. Go down to the shops and start buying tin food and some water. It takes a lot of time to get 3 months worth of food together. Now, if you're kind of broke, which we all are, to be honest, go down there and just buy your staples each week, and then buy, excuse me, then buy your extras. The way I used to do it was I'd buy 10 tins every time we went shopping. Doesn't sound like much, does it? But I'd make sure I bought 10 tins, 10 tins of corn, 10 tins of tomatoes, 10 tins of spaghetti, beans, whatever. And you'd be surprised how quickly that builds up. But remember, 3 months worth of food is a shitload of tins to keep you going. Now, my wife, in her wisdom recently, excuse me, decided to pull apart all the boxes we had and eat all the food out of them, which saved us. This is ironic because it saved us a shitload of money at the time. We were a bit tight for money, and my wife decided the best thing she could do was go and pull apart my prepping boxes and use all the stuff in them, which is probably fine. It's been in there for 2 years. The two things that were eye-opening about that, the kids were like, I'm not eating that. It's been in there for 2 years. So without them knowing it, I was feeding them the food out of the tins, because now this is really important, a use by date is a guide. I'm going to say that again. A use by date is a guide. If you have a tin, pressure packed tin with food in it, it has no germs in it. Specifically, sometimes they don't. The majority do. And it's airtight. That food will store for 10 years plus. Honestly, there was only a couple of things that we found that went off, and that was condensed milk. That went off, although some did and some didn't. We couldn't figure it out. And any milk byproducts. Do you know what? I had wraps. You know, the wraps that you buy from Woolies and Coles and that. I had those in there for 3 years, and we ate them because they're sealed. They're pressure sealed. The kids couldn't believe it. They were like, how do these stay fresh? I'm like, it's not difficult. Yeah, but it's got the use by date on it. They're driven by this use by date, the kids, if you notice that. So that's something to keep in mind. There was only one bag of wraps that we couldn't eat. One out of all the boxes, which it was actually an eye-opener to do the actual thing, because we found out just how good it worked. So the proof's in the pudding, folks. Okay, first video back. I'm not going to make it a long one. So let's do the prayers. Okay. Now, before I say the prayers today, if you are a caring person who believes in God, then I hope that you listen to the following prayers for the people, or for the kids and the mother. Not the piece of shit that killed him, because he was a piece of shit, and he'll go down in history in Australia as the biggest piece of shit going. Have a heart and say these prayers, and that hopefully these prayers go to the God and these kids, and some compassion and love is shown via these prayers to these guys, because this was horrific, folks. He poured petrol on them and burnt them to death in a suburban street in their car. Like, that's just, it's just mind-boggling, isn't it? I'm not going to put any links to it or anything like that. You can find out yourself if you want to. But just say these prayers for these people. Okay, verse of the day. Whoever would foster love covers over an offence, but whoever repeats the matter separates close friends. Very true. And as always, folks, we're going to end with the Lord's Prayer. And as I said, this is dedicated to poor little kids and the mother who lost their life in the most harrowing of circumstances. The Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Righto, folks, I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully I will be back on Monday, if not Tuesday. I'm not going to stick to a specific day, although it might even help me out if I did, but I'm going to see how that goes. It'll, like I said, it'll just be 2 days a week, maybe Monday, Wednesday, or Monday, Friday. I'm not sure yet. Depends on the news, I guess. Right, you guys be good. God bless, and prep out.